It occurred to me a little while ago that life is usually lived in one of two ways. Life is lived in one of two ways. One is God now. When we say God is here, God now. And the second is me now. That's basically all that we are saying in Satsang. God itself is playing in one of these two ways. God now or me now. And sometimes it feels like, it's almost like some of you who practice yoga will know. There's a pose called tree pose. So the me ow is like me trying to do the tree pose. You see? For a while it feels like I can do this. I can balance this body like that. But it doesn't work. So in the same way, for a while it can feel like, oh, the me can actually work. If I try this, if I just be like this, if I get this much wealth, if I just get this relationship, if I get these material objects, or I get some sort of understanding about something, then I could actually make this work. And the owl seems to get postponed a bit sometimes. But this is inevitable about the me, that the owl is coming. And if some of you are new to Satsang and are wondering what he's on about, the meow is something which comes from my example of the cat identity. So pick up the concept of me, and the suffering, which is the ow, is bound to follow. Now the logical question that all of you can then ask is, okay, so what do I have to do to not be in this me-ow state? How do I come to this God now? And for this I have the best news, that there is nothing you have to do. It is naturally what is already present here now. That is why it is God now. It is never me now. The me is made up of a set of ideas picked up from the past and projections about the future. And what can happen is that the mind will take this, which is presence now, which is present now, and say that that is a me. But this is not true. Your presence, your Atma, your being is the presence of God itself. So only God is now. The me is a pretense, just an idea. And you know ultimately that it is a lie because you taste the suffering of this lie. So there is nothing really that needs to be done. But you don't have to do this nothing also. You see, many times when I say nothing needs to be done, then we actively do nothing. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying nothing needs to be done. And yet all doing can appear and disappear. There is an openness and allowing of all things to happen. But for God to exist, what precondition can there be? When we have the idea that only after I do a certain thing, God will be, that means that God's existence is also preconditioned on some state. And this God is not worth it. The only God that is worth it is the one that just is, irrespective of what the appearance might be. So actually the meow meow is also happening on the substratum of God now. God does not go away even when God is playing with the notion of a me. And I was saying the other day that this notion of God now, this idea that consciousness is all there is, can seem a bit distant initially. It can feel like, but I have no experience of this. Then the question can come, but what is this God that you speak of? Then I could say, just what is, starting from your very presence. Which means, to make it even more direct, just this existence, I am. This is called beingness or consciousness or Atma. This just is. You just are. All the rest is just notional, just ideas, starting from the idea of separation, that there is a me here that is separate from everything else. It's just an idea. You've taken some appearances, some things which are seen, and made a mental boundary and said, this is a me. I am contained in this body. He is contained in that body. She is contained in this body. These are just ideas. Actually, you find no such tangible separation. You find just one appearance and you are aware of it. You see, all of this is one consciousness and nothing can ever separate consciousness. So just like there is just one ocean, but it can appear as if they are separate waves. In the same way, there is one being, one consciousness, one God, although it might appear as if they are separate beings.